send those through on Twitter and Blue Sky and Discord. I almost closed Twitch. I actually need to keep that open. Push live just to test with my webcam real quick. White man jump scare incoming. Well, I'm kind of late on warning for that. Sorry. First time I've gotten to actively and accurately see that transition happen for the scene transitions on XSplit. It looks a little weird on my end because the sources kind of like pop out for a second or like go away for a sec. But it looks like we are good. Get this set up and close this. And that means that's it. I want to keep these on top, damn it. Nope. Can't do nothing like that. Well, oh well. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the auto capture. And it doesn't really do much about the sound from the dryer. I might as well just open. I hate the stupid door. It has two settings, closed and open. There's no like ability to keep it ajar. So it just keeps opening as far as it wants to, and then it hits my freaking chair a lot of the time. So I've got the two little like drawer things here now, so at least it'll stay the hell out of my way. Oh my god, it's frustrating. I can unplug my controller so that it doesn't funk with the game. I was thinking of playing like Disc Creatures or something, but Kentucky Route Zero was calling me. We're going on the Zero, lads! Fun fact, this is actually sort of my family's like home area, is a lot of this. So there's a lot of places I recognize in this game. I'll show you guys around. It's a pretty neat place. I've been on the Zero a few times. It's kind of weird the first, like, time or 7 that you're there, and then by the time it's like your 13th or 14th visit, you're like, okay, this is pretty straightforward. I'm actually going to turn off the light. I think that's just the different save files. There's 5 acts in this. I've only seen the first 4, and even then, like, this game has a lot of branching paths. It's actually very cool. A lot of the things you say in dialogue, this is something I've actually wanted to try before in a game, with making one. I was going to do a text-based adventure game. So, kind of similar to what this does. And the idea was, the things you say then retroactively determine those traits about your character. And it's also very true here. This is also a great thing is, everything's kind of silhouetted. Oh, for God's sake, stupid phone. Just, if I have it on my little belt clip kickstand set up on the desk, and every time that it goes off, it's just like, hey, what if I made the table buzz really loud and it goes through the mic? Moving truck rumbles softly to itself. Painted on the inside are the words Lisette's Antiques, Furniture, Glassware, Curiosities. Dog! Old hound in a straw hat. Both have seen better days. And you can click and hold and drag the cursor around to make yourself move around. Joseph sits between gas pumps and Queen Anne armchair. His hair is gray and his glasses darkened. Damn! Did you hear that wreck? Truck full of bottles. I don't know, beer balls? Whiskey? Lost a tire or something. Spilled booze and glass all over the interstate. What a mess. I hope they don't come down here looking for anything. We blew a damn fuse and it's all shut off. Now you're a dog? What's your dog's name? So you can choose boy dog, girl dog, or... I think I want to go with Blue. Also, our name is Conway. Blue sounds like a sweet old hound. I used to know a dog like that. Hey, here's some jerky for Blue. I made it myself. Didn't turn out too well, but I bet dog will eat it. Getting late, right? I can feel the sun on my neck. I bet it's just a few feet off the horizon. I've got a delivery to make on Dogwood, but I'd rather watch the sunset. This is basically, are you straight to it, straight to business, or are you kind of taking your time and going with the flow? I think I'd prefer this. Yeah, that's the truth. You gotta stop and breathe in the road. Breathe in that road. Bet while you're out driving, you let your eyes wander up the tree line and you just... Well, I bet you're more of a poet than old Joseph. See? So, his response very much changes based on that. Of just being like, you're straight to business, huh? This game, if you like the looks of this game, by all means, at any point, stop watching. And just go play it yourself when you get the chance. How long have you been working here? I've been working here a number of years. It's pretty okay. I have an advanced degree and a few publications. Pretty okay here. Listen, you and Blue would have been driving up and down 65 all night long. Dogwood Drive is on the other side of... Well, to get there you have to take the 0. The 0 is a tough route to find. But you can use my computer to look up directions. You have to head down into the basement and reset the circuit breaker first. I'll be happy to have those blinding lights back up anyway. It's too damn quiet out here. In case you couldn't tell, Joseph is blind. That's why he's got the darkened glasses. So, he's talking about everything that he hears and being like, I bet the sun's just a few feet off the horizon, heat beating down the back of my neck. They do a lot of great things that just, they imply that. You probably already figured it out, but I wanted to point out just like how well they go about describing that to make it clear to the player without having to outright state it or have you ask like, are you blind? Yes, I am. Because that's not something a person would normally ask. You just kind of infer it based on context if you could. Basement doors in the back is back there in the office. Appreciate your help, friend. Oh, and here, take this lamp. Gets dark. Okay, that's blown out. So yeah, now we're just low poly models. I also love the horseshoe used. Okay, I'm inside now. Click that. Control's a little awkward at first. Basement people. Emily, Ben, and Bob sit in folding chairs behind a worn card table. Papers, oddly shaped dice, and highway maps cover the tabletop. Y'all seen a breaker box down here? Did you hear something? No. Sorry, I was looking at the rules again. Gets easier as you go. Look, you said you rolled a 5, right? That means you get to pick up your marker and move it anywhere on the map. So it's your turn now, right? Oh, yeah, I guess so. Where'd you put that 20-sided die? I don't see it. Did you drop it? Should be easy enough to find. Glows in the dark. Nope. There we go. Dusty rusty signs bolted on the wall. These are the rules. No open flames near the gasoline. Consumption of beer or spirits on the premises. In case of sudden darkness, do not panic. Relax, count backwards from 5. Strictly limit time spent in the basement to fewer than 3 minutes of every hour. Well, I don't think these guys are adhering to that. Picks up the 20-sided die and expects it. The number 5 is facing up. Small piece of plastic, but it has a reassuring, almost comforting weight. Got dice. Sir, your rolls are shite. I had a breaker. And it has now become nighttime. There it is. Just listen to those lights whine. Yep. There's some people down in your basement playing some kind of game, but they're gone now. In the basement? I don't think so. Yeah, the lamplight was playing tricks on you. Well, strange things happen underground, especially in the dark. So, computer's in the office. Looking for Marquez. She knows her way around those roads. She'll get you to the 0. The password is... Damn. I usually just feel it out. Muscle memory, you know? It's kind of long. Kind of like a short poem, I think. One of those short poems that really sums it all up. You'll figure it out. Very accurate to how someone who can no longer see, or maybe never could see, would learn a keyboard. It's like, I don't remember, like, where the letters are for typing my password. I'm just like, do password movement. Normally, if you can see, you'll look at the letters a lot of the time and be like, okay, have I got it? If you can't rely on that, you gotta go with just whatever you can use. Again, just neat little things like that. There's a lot of great attention to detail in each character's writing. There's a lot of things that feel natural and organic to them. And a lot of things that most people wouldn't think about when writing a character like that. Like, Joseph here, just on his own, sets the whole stage for how this entire game is played, written, designed, everything. It's phenomenal. This seems like such a nothing section. Like, oh, we're just teaching you mechanics. No, this is far more than that. Taps the key, waking computer from his reverie. User, Joseph. Password. Starts to drop away. Moon throbs. The lights whine. I actually didn't know what the correct password there was. I just kind of went with what felt right. Games? Games is not real. Shit! Oh, wait, what are we playing then? That's probably a simulation. Dawn at Hill. Whole world in here. We need hope and mask it. As the caves are cold and damp, and we are old and lame. Never mind. I can't remember why I even started writing this. I miss those days in the lab with you and dear Lula. Maybe you found your own Xanadu. Well, so have I. Outstanding urgent. Equisolial. Urgent automated message that your account is overdue by more than 14 days. Once we have switched to our low reliability Dirty Power Plus plan. For sustained brownout, select. Yes, we looked at his messages. Maybe there was something regarding that. What we need. He said to search Marquez. 100 Macondo Lane. Northeast on 65. Turn left as soon as you see that ugly tree that's always on fire. Oh, right, that one. Yeah. No, another one. I was like, what do you mean ugly tree? Yeah, no, it's kind of ugly, isn't it? Look for the barn at the base of the mountain there. Can't miss it. Got it? Out there in Macondo somewhere, right? Yeah, that's it. Look, while you're down there, I loaded that old TV of mine into your truck. Borrowed that thing from Weaver Marquez a number of years ago. Now the power's all weird over here. I can't pick up anything but static and public access anyway. Ah, oh, jeez. I'm getting nothing. I know there's more of a reader, but maybe she'd want it back at home. It's a nice TV. I can plug in my Super Nintendo onto it. Oh, we can't do the other search terms. Oh, bingus. Sun's gone down. You and Blue better get on the road if you're gonna make that delivery. Come on, Blue. Scratching behind Blue's right here. How's it going, Blue? How about a treat? No, actually, let's save it for later. What do you think of this place? It's odd. I never really noticed it driving by. Take it easy, Blue. It's a good truck idling sound. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's everything. Like Joseph said, we gotta get on the road. We gotta get going. So yeah, we're on I-65 right now. There's 68. There's 70. Say north on 65. Yeah, north. Tall black oak burns on a hill above the road. There's a Marquez farmhouse. I love that I had already forgotten friggin' wait, hang on. You say north or south? Marquez farmhouse. Ah, oh, my neck. Blue. I guess we just head up the path here. Farmhouse is up the hill a bit. Maybe I can borrow you a treat up there. Street lamp lights the base of a dusty path leading up the hill. Graveyard. So here's Nowakowski, Padilla, Marquez. Leafs. Yes, they do look like this in Kentucky. It's very common. Light switch? Ah. I was just thinking what a lovely house we have. You like it? Have you been here before? Did you happen to see an owl? I didn't see any owl. I know. I saw it out the window once. Big, ugly thing. All sound and fury. Well, it's gone now. Used to be another house here. We had it destroyed. And we built this one. It was very expensive and we got quite underwater. What do you do for work? Is it too difficult or do you like it very much? I was once a mathematician. Looking for something in particular here? I drive deliveries for a small antique shop. I think it's hard times for a small antique shop. It's hard times everywhere, even out here on our little farm. My parents stopped paying the bank a while back. I shouldn't even be here, but I just stayed. I have some notebooks. I'm only a little bored. I might prefer to watch TV occasionally. Actually, I have a TV here that I think belongs to you. Pick it up. I can explain to you how to get where you're going. The zero. I know. So we just carried the TV with us. Doesn't make sense. We were returned anyway. That's not how it's supposed to look. You made a mistake setting it up. Is it a foreign object to you? Which of your parents was it who wouldn't allow you to watch television? Ma thought she heard ghosts in the stack. Dad thought it was radioactive. I know how to set up a TV. Okay, I'm skeptical. You have it all backwards. I'm not surprised. Are you? You been paying attention? I don't think you have. It's time to start paying attention now, Conway. Look closely at the television. Horses, hunts, small hunts. There we go. Space out for a minute there. Keep out in that barn. Used to be tools and feed and books. Now I think it's mostly spiders. Damn, no books. TV is picking up the wrong signal. Cousin Shannon would know more about it. She fixes TVs for a living. Oh, she used to. I think the new models are giving her some trouble. Cousin? That's my father's brother's daughter, Shannon. We're about the same age. Well, we used to be. She's older now. She has a workshop north of ways, by the lake, right where Peonia and Wax Road meet. Ah, okay. It's a big bait and tackle shop. She fixes TVs in the back. You like fishing? Honestly, I'm not convinced you should bother with Zero. I'd much rather you find my cousin and fix my TV. I'll get you headed the right way. So it's pretty easy. Get back on 65, head north. Take the first right after the artificial limb factory. From there, your arrival at the Zero is basically inevitable. North on 65, first right after the artificial limb factory. Nice to know you, Conway. Keep your eyes open, especially in the dark. Band spiderweb stretches across the bottom of a saucepan. The skillet is seasoned with dust. Stove. A disused wood-burning stove is set up in one ash-dusted corner of the room. It's cold to the touch. Can't go downstairs in any fashion. click outside and then go down to status. I might actually want to lower the game audio a bit. That's my mic. Never mind. Game audio, if anything's a bit quiet. That should be better. I think I messed up something with the game by clicking out and clicking back in. Is the artificial limb factory? Creek runs alongside the highway and then turns toward a dirty brick building. Grinding drone from within the building is faintly audible from the interstate. Floodlights on the lawn illuminate smokestacks. Drilling parking lot, large sign partly obscured by trees reads. Artificial limb factory. On-ramp? Game? There we go. How's it going, Blue? I'm sure that lady was right about the on-ramp to the Zero being here. You just can't tell with some folks. I will... If I look around, though, must be down here somewhere. Better hurry, though. Weather's about to turn. Can I say shit copping? Did I like mess up the layers for the fog? Or is it just supposed to be very foggy at this point? Shannon speaks into the large brick cell phone held up to her ear. Yeah, it kind of is an emergency. Can I trust them not to just change the locks? I don't know. Just, never mind. I have to go. Sorry. Excuse me, ma'am. I saw the light was on and I'm looking for the on-ramp to... Are you here to kick me off my property? Oh, no. I guess you don't belong here either, do you? Are you just out wandering? Huh. Well, I do drive a lot. Just me and the road mostly, when the sun's out. Sound lonely. Nah, I get by. Here's what it is. I drive deliveries for a shop called Lisette's Antiques. I'm out trying to finish this job. Making a delivery to the mine? Oh, no. I have a delivery for 5 Dogwood Drive, and I can't remember ever seeing that address before. Now I heard I need to take a highway called the Zero. So I met this young lady named Weaver Marquez, and she sent me this way, and so here I am. Uncommon kind of place for an on-ramp, but that's what it's been like so far anyway with Weaver Mesquite. What? Marquez. Do you know her? So you saw her. Tonight. I know Weaver. She's my cousin. I'm Shannon Marquez. Oh, you're the one who fixes televisions. That's right. She tell you that too? Of course she did. I like that we've now switched back to Conway's perspective. Weaver doesn't lie. One time when we were younger, she told me my dad had been in a terrible car wreck. There was crushed metal everywhere. We've been hearing it echo through the house for years, she said. I was very upset, crying, and my dad walked in the door. Just come back from a trip to the junkyard, collected scrap metal to fashion into wind chimes. I was angry, but she said it wasn't a joke, and it wasn't a lie. At the time, I thought she meant it was a riddle or a puzzle. But Weaver's not a puzzle. She's a mystery. So, what are you doing down here, Shannon? I talked to Weaver earlier this evening, too. Or anyway, she talked to me. It's hard to tell if she's listening sometimes. Weaver told me I had to come down here to the old Elkhorn mine. She said I'd find something I've been looking for. Where'd you see her? At my workshop. She just appeared. I hadn't seen her since a long time. It's not such a bad thing, you showing up now. All told, I'd rather not go down there alone. The dog should stay up here, though. There's no place for a dog. She's old. She's too sweet. We don't want her getting her. It's an old mine. Runs pretty deep and tangled. If we're going to go down into it, find your on-ramp and whatever else, we've got to keep our bearings. I don't want to get turned around. My headphone cord keeps getting caught on my phone's belt cleat. There. I got some gear here to measure conductivity, frequency, response, stuff like that. Maybe we can find a way to put a signal out ahead. Do some analysis, figure out what kind of topology we're up against. Topology. Okay. Topology. That's the science of continuous space, my friend. The way this misty maze of passages fits together. Conway, I'm not playing him in sort of yeah, I definitely know what that is. Or how to do this thing. Oh. Can't talk to Blue and tell her... Nope. Can't tell her to stay here. Oh, I can right-click and drag to zoom in. I didn't know you could do that. That's pretty neat. That's me holding right-click. Even zooms to where my cursor is, kinda. Game's struggling a bit. I don't know what's going on. Never runs into the mine's PA system. Do you think it still works? The little light on the front of it is off. Oh, there's no power. Yeah, okay. Even when this old mine was up and running, it was tricky to keep stuff powered. You know, the miners used to have to pay just to run the fans and the lights. Yeah, they got paid in these shitty plastic tokens. Coal script, you know? If you want to run the fans for a bit to clear the air up, well, you have to put a token in. My parents used to work here. So did Weaver's parents. Guess a lot of folks' parents worked here. Can we power it up? Well, we just have to free up some power from the PA system. Everything is rationed here. Or here. Alright, rationed. Here, set up that lamp of yours, and I'll go unplug these ceiling lights. I'm having a deja vu moment. I know I said I've seen this stuff played before, but I feel like recently I saw this exact bit. Fidgets with the change in his pocket. I heard the speakers back here crackle a bit. It's on now, right? Try saying something into the mouthpiece. Say something. I've got... Okay, I hear you. We need to measure the echo delay time and figure out how deep the tunnels run. Just make some noises into the mouthpiece. Clears his throat. Knocks on the table. Don't want to cause any popping or anything. Damn, that's a long delay. These tunnels run deep. I bet some of them have ruptured or joined up with the cave system. Alright, I set up my spectrum analyzer. So just say something in the mouthpiece and we can get a sense for how narrow the mine tunnels are. Don't be shy, just say anything that comes into your head. Tell me a story about something. Or what'd you have for breakfast today? Here's a story. I used to work doing roof repair. My boss got a real big job out in Louisville. Should have taken us an hour to get there. But that thunderstorm hit and it was too late anyhow. Tying into him being like, weather's about to turn. Got it. Looks like the tunnels are pretty cramped. Yeah, low ceilings. Hope you're ready to stoop a bit. Eh, you're probably used to it. One more test. We just need to know if the air is breathable or if it's too thin or too dense. Just sit real close to the mouthpiece and breathe. I'll measure the resonance of your breath with the air in the tunnels. Just try to relax. Try to breathe naturally. It's about resting. Oh, when he was younger. Getting some pretty strong readings here. I think we're in good shape, but keep at it for a minute. Visualizes a hot meal. Breathes and relaxes as a peel of feedback and loose engulfs him. So much for that hot meal. Jesus, are you alright? What the hell? I'm okay. I've got you. You're alright. Shit, your leg is pinned. I'm gonna pull you out. We have to get you out of here. There you go. Okay, are you hurt? Can you put any weight on that leg? It's all messed up. Here, let's get you onto the tram. There you go. Now let's see if this thing has power. Jesus! What about Weaver? We'll just find the exit and then I'll figure out what to do from there. That's our first priority. So the controls are over on your side. Let's get moving. Oh, here we are. It's maybe hard to believe. It's hard for me to believe myself. This whole branch was underwater last I heard. Let's see a boom. How'd that happen? Some careless miner or some unattended machine bored through into an underground lake. Water came in pretty fast, and a lot of folks got trapped in the tunnels. I heard parts of how it went from there. Sanitized for the bereaved. You know how these big companies are. There was gossip too. Trapped miners couldn't get the pumps going because the power was rationed. So they shut all the lights off. But even then it wasn't enough. So I guess it was dark when they... You lost some people down here, didn't you? We all lost people down here. Oh, not all of us. But most of us. It doesn't matter now. Look, this old turntable is still wired up. The controls are dead, but I can use my signal generator to switch tracks. The water hasn't damaged it too much. Or we can just keep heading down this tunnel. All this junk hanging up around the turntable is from the company store. Just junk, you know? Miners would buy it and use it to decorate the place. Or as landmarks, I guess. Hard to know which way is which down here. It's also dim and gray. Hello, cat. And thank you, cat. Excellent timing. Likely ban evaded restricted. Yeah, evade this. Nice roll there, cat, with the accuracy. Evasion don't mean jack. So this is a text adventure game. It's actually loud on my headphones. It's kind of a text adventure game, but you can see that it's got, you know, these simplified 3D models. Yeah, probably should. I'll have to do that later. That's a good thinking. And, in this game, this is Kentucky Route Zero. So right now what's happened so far is we stopped at a gas station, met an old man named Joseph. We helped get his power turned back on. We went into the basement and found a dive for some people who were playing a board game, but we had to turn off the lights to see it because it was glow in the dark. Turn the lights back on, go up, and they weren't there. So we go flip the breaker. Joseph's like, hey, you must have been seeing things down there. Weird stuff happens in the dark. Anyway, and then we went and we figured out where to find a Marquez household. From echolocator? Might be. I don't know how this game is made, honestly. We found and met, oh, it's not Shannon, it's this woman's cousin. And we showed her a TV. She told us we needed to get to the zero, or at least Joseph did, and she told us TV was the key to the zero. She said her cousin could fix the TV. We came here, and now we found her cousin. Oh, and to get to the other Marquez house, we had to turn left off the 65 when we saw the ugly tree that's always on fire. Anyway, connects 2 clips leads from a signal generator to the turntable's electrical panel. We're on the track between the animal bones and the rowboats, so... Pendulum and casket, Batfeeder and Scarecrow. I don't like either of these. Yeah, up on 65 going north. There's this. I was kind of confused at first. I was like, oh yeah, it is kind of ugly, isn't it? Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just like that. I do not like Casket. I think Batfeeder and the Scarecrow? I don't know. And yeah, to get up to here, we had to keep going, went past the artificial limb factory, and then took the first right. We actually have to navigate on the road map. So that's why I'm mentioning these things. Turntable? Okay. Between the Batfeeder and the Scarecrow. Okay. So now we can just move around side to side. Side to side to side. Turn off the lights. Nothing. Try going this way. Yeah, that's light. I think. Dead end! Hear that? Kind of a muffled rumbling. They were near water? Could be. There was an underground lake around here years ago. Guess that's why they stopped digging so abruptly here. Alright, so left on Scarecrow. Broken track. Alright then. What's up down here? This tram isn't going any further. What's the sound of that tunnel? Wait, actually. Let's use a turntable. $22 of them. Good lord. Also, I forgot that we actually don't have everything added to Go yet. Let's go with Pendulum and the Casket, I guess. This is a 6-way turntable. Well, 3-way technically. Last one left will be the Animal Bones. Try going left. Oh yeah, something I discovered with this, you can click and hold right click, and it'll zoom in on your cursor and you can drag around to look at stuff. It's a neat little feature. We found something. We found light. Stage? Damn, it's almost totally intact. Thought it would have been destroyed. What is this place? It's a recording studio, basically. Kind of thrown together, but when mine was active, a couple of folk music archivists spent time down here recording minor songs. Really academic, ivory tower types. None of the miners really talked on much. So they stayed at the margins, observed, took notes, and then sometimes they get on a lunch break to sing into their microphone. Or get someone on a lunch break. I guess the power company got some kind of interest in the project and gave the archivists some cold script tokens to pay the miners with for their songs. Did you ever come down here? Yeah, I came here with my parents once or twice. Used to play music here, even when those archivists weren't around. It was a nice setup. Kind of rickety, kind of dangerous, I guess. But, I don't know. It had a good energy. It was warm sometimes. Looks like that's the end of that. Oh, if I hold farther right, then it'll speed along. Tape player. Dusty reel-to-reel tape player is stashed beneath the track, loaded with tape and star for power. Oh, I didn't know those were still down here. What was that? Look, there's a tape player down there. One of those old reel-to-reel setups. They'd record up on the old scaffolding we saw. I guess then they'd sequester themselves down here to listen to the record song. So this dialogue would have actually been different if we had gone over here first. And there's also dialogue options we could choose that determine traits about our character. One of the first things was Joseph asked us about the dog in the straw hat that we have, who's all just skin and bones. And you could say, his name is Homer, her name is Blue, or it's just some old dog, I don't know its name, or his name. So you can actually choose stuff like that. Based on what you say, that suddenly makes it true. So, there's a lot of really, really cool stuff like that in this. I actually wanted to make a text adventure game using the same idea long before I saw this. So I'm glad to see like someone not only tried it, but pulled it off so well. Did your parents sing? Yeah, I like when games do that. Like, instead of choosing all your background stuff at the beginning, let you build your character as you go. It makes them feel more alive. Oh, yeah, they sang. Oh, I don't think you guys could actually hear that from the dryer. That's good. Yeah, it just dinged. They sang. They sang in the mine for coal script tokens. I sure. Hey. I don't actually know Country Roads. Actually, I don't know it at all. I know a little bit of Paradise. I know that one. Just a little bit of the chorus, though. Chain connects two clips. Leads. Track. Independent casket. The last one was Animal Bones in the Rowboat. Okay, I want to see what's done this way. I'm trying to see if we've come to a screeching halt. Probably would have hurt our ears. Nope, just dead end. With nothing to interact with. Oh yeah, when the tunnel collapsed, we hurt our leg real bad. Conway did anyway. So, he's gonna start having a bit of a limp. Thank God. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, okay. That tunnel where the tracks were broken. I'd like to take a look down there. Do whatever you need. I'll just wait for you down here. You can actually choose who insists on it. Thanks. I'll be right back. So I think I chose to stay here as Conway. Birdcage. Here taggings. Canary, 25 tokens. Can be sold at the company's store. Also sell respirators. No bones in the cage. Bird must have been set free. Maybe the cage was cleaned. The cardinals at the Louisville Zoo. Birds, ostriches, eagles, emus, No canaries. Too common? Too small, maybe. They have starlings. Starlings aren't much bigger than canaries. So yeah, I think if I had chosen Shannon's text, I would have been going down there as her. Pile of tape reels is jammed into the top of the tram. Must have been thrown on in a rush. Reels are unlabeled. Tape is decayed. Ira's son, Charlie, talked about a piece of music he liked made with old decaying tapes. What was it called? Something about... Charlie had the most bizarre taste in music. Weird, noisy computer music. Where do you even hear that stuff? Louisville, probably. Or college. Yeah, that's what they're talking about with the tokens. They were talking about the coal script. But here, the power was super rationed. And so, that was why they're saying, like, yeah, you had to, like, pay for lights. If you wanted to clear out the air a bit, you had to pay to turn on the ventilation. And then when they hit the underground lake, that flooded, and they tried to turn on the pumps, but because the electricity was so sparse, it couldn't work. They tried to turn off the lights even, and that wasn't enough to get the pump going. So, no pump. And no lights. Charlie was a smart kid. Damn pity. Notebooks. Notebook at the top of this dusty stack is labeled in black marker. Label is dusty and smudged, but it looks like it might say horses. Hunts! Houses, maybe? Or verses, even? Crude and hurried handwriting, too. I said it was immaculate handwriting. Or has immaculate handwriting. Pristine, measured, cursive. Never a stray mark. For the last several months, she filled out the receipts for each order. Since that young couple complained about the handwriting on the order slip. It's carbon paper, anyway. It's bound to wear it away over time. If they're so precise about their records, they should put it on the computer anyway. Yeah, there's our limp. There we go, there's my cursor. Cursor wasn't showing up at first. There's Blue! There she is! You can see her ears hanging down. She's got a little straw hat and everything. Crime shack is lined with wooden shelves. Dusty sacks of tape reels and notebooks crowd the room, but a bit of moonlight filters through a window near the ceiling. A small desk in the middle of the room, the 3 notebooks. The red one is labeled J. Marquez, the green one is labeled R. Marquez, and the blue one is unlabeled. Red notebook. Just organized notes and written horizontally. There's Shannon. Her scope was vertically on the margins. A few pages are lined more evenly and divided up in charts correlating seasons, lyrics, harmonies, and coal halls. Green notebook. Page delicately rendered charcoal drawing. Most of portraits of rugged faces. In the middle of the book, there are a few drawings of a young girl in a miner's helmet. She plays along the mine cart tracks, collecting pieces of wire. One drawing, another young girl sits nearby, intently studying a book. Open the blue notebook. The notebook is full of Greek letters and cryptic mathematical formulas. At the back of the book, what first looks like it might be these notebooks are labeled Marquez. Your parents are the archivists? No, Weaver's parents. Right, Weaver. That was her cousin who we saw. She's been talking a lot about Weaver with, like, a lot of past tense and, like, when we talked to Weaver, she was like, me and my cousin, well, we were the same age. Well, we were. She's older now. Stuff like that. And when we looked over at the barn over at Weaver's property, we talked to her for a bit, and then the camera panned back and she was gone. So there's something going on there. My parents were minors. How's the leg? I can walk on it, but it's painful. Oh, I've got some painkillers here that could help you out. Got them from a friend when I sprained my wrist installing a security system. You better let me drive, though. They're pretty strong. Yeah, maybe that's best. Don't worry, I've been driving since I was 9. Honestly, doesn't surprise me one bit. Kind of happens a lot in these areas. You just kind of like get to drive around in the driveway. You get to drive around like tractors and stuff. Don't need a license for that stuff. Technically, you need a driver's license to drive out on the road. I still need to find the 0. Also, you can see the 0 as always, given that context. Well, it's like I told you. Weaver doesn't lie. If she sent you here to find your on-ramp, this is where you should be looking. Or maybe you just weren't listening closely enough, and that's not exactly what she said. I saw Weaver at my workshop. That's up north by Lake Nolan, right at Wax and Peonia, in the back of a bait shop. Pretty glamorous, right? These are the times we live in. She's either up there or back at the farmhouse. Whichever you want to head to first, let me know. I wanted to cancel and do the 2 people's thing. It showed. Can we say put? Sets Antiques. I guess this is your truck? This is my truck. Blue! Blue, this is Shannon. Nice to meet you, Blue. I got some dried up banana slices in my bag. Would you like one? Give Blue a treat! Take care of your friend here. And there's some more where that came from. Oh yeah, Joseph gave us some jerky that he kind of burnt a little bit. He was like, it's not really great eating, but a dog will probably like it. And I was saving that. I was like, might need that for like a thing later. I don't think so though. I think I can give her the jerky later. It's back into the night. So now we gotta go back south. So here's how we like drive along. Also, I love the horseshoe thing is also present on this. There's the artificial land factory. These are actual like highways and stuff in Kentucky. 88, 70, 65, like 31 West. These are all parts of like West Kentucky. This area is a place I am actually very familiar with. It's a very large area. Oh yeah, here's that, oh right, Mammoth Cave Parkway. That's what we're on. Burning tree. Tall black oak burns on a hill above the road. Yeah, see? Well, it's not that ugly. This is actually where Joseph was. You can go over to here. Actually, didn't realize we could go back here. The game's been a little bit slow. Alright. Stranger? Man with a large pair of antlers slung over his shoulder is speaking with Joseph. That's only a few miles outside of Hodgenville. Anyway, I don't think you could do much better for accessibility. They got that new gas station and folks get lost. But maybe they should feel lost, Joseph. Just as lost then as we are always already lost. Just like the poor itinerant Silas, wandering the road, looking for a home. Well, that's a way to look at it, I guess. Well, hello. I heard that old truck rumble on up. How's Blue? Say maybe you could help this fellow. He's looking for a venue, is how you said it, right? Sure, I have an old friend who runs a bar. They got a real big stage. No, no, it can't be indoors. Impossible. Ah, okay. But I'm obliged you'd stop for a moment to help me work this through. Let me explain my charge. I've dedicated my last 12 years to the design and orchestration of my life's greatest work. A grand, broadly experimental theatrical adaptation of The Death of the Hired Man by Robert Frost. How do you mean experimental? Was? Well, drama is really my second love. My higher calling is pseudoscience. I wish I had my camera on where you guys could see my face, because I'm giving a very... Yes, I see. So as a performance, the event is to be performed tomorrow morning, just before dawn. But in the spirit of tragedy, our venue fell through at the last moment. I've been out all day driving the highways, looking for a replacement. I fast into the landscape like a hawk scouring the field. It's like a hawk, in fact, so like a hawk, in fact, that I failed to keep an eye on my gas meter. I'm here waiting for the tow truck to bring my car so I can get back at the task. Well, I don't mind keeping an eye out for a spot. I'm on a drive anyway. If you have attention to spare, I'd be grateful. Somewhere outdoors, somewhere intimate, somewhere tragic. Something from Robert Frost. I can understand that. That is actually the last one. So, we read a couple of taxidermy moth. What? You can see the glass like window area of the gas station. We read Joseph's email, and he had a thing from the power company being like, hey, we've got you on our very unreliable Dirty Power Plus program because you haven't paid in over 2 weeks. If you pay, then that will obviate our need to switch you to our consistent brownout program. So, he has now lost his power. Mothman Equinox. Back in truck. So now the barn is permanently visible on the map. Yeah. We left the burning tree. Come on. Come on. It does have to load a few things. This game is honestly a little bit higher end than I think it lets on with the visuals and the like. Oh shit! Forgot I can't see anything. The blue. There's some horses out there behind the house. Remember the horses you and Lisette and Ira had? Yours didn't like to sleep in the barn either. Yours didn't like to sleep in the barn either. I like that it doesn't even like give Blue's responses. It's literally just like sitting there talking to a pet. Honestly, like I was talking about before you got your cat, but the way that the dialogue is written feels very organic in this. It just does. It's all written in a way, like, for instance, Joseph is blind. But they never explicitly say anything about it. He never says, like, I can't see or anything. He mentions, like, oh, I can feel, the sun's going down, isn't it? I can feel the heat on the back of my neck. It's probably a few feet over the horizon by now. And, He also mentions, like, password to computer is... Ah, damn, what was it again? I never really remember. I just kind of muscle memory, you know? Just, like, things that are... Like, you wouldn't say to a person, are you blind? Yes, I am blind. You would just be able to infer, because, like, you look at his description, and it's like, old man, darkened glasses. It's like, okay, based on that, which is what you see, and the way he behaves about things, yeah, you can just simply infer he can't see. And it's such a very subtle thing, but it sets the stage not just with, like, here we're going to tutorial you on how gameplay works. It also works as a tutorial on how the story works. And how everything is presented and told. It's honestly brilliant writing. This game has some of the best writing I've ever seen. Okay, we're at the graveyard now. There we go, house. I don't know why I can't have lantern or anything. Well, actually, light might make it harder to see for us. Going up the stairs into the house. Okay, so something is broken. Because I clicked out of the game and then clicked back in, and I think it's broken some assets. Ephemera. I see. This is the stuff I have. Oh, okay. You can actually look at this. 0. Nope. On-ramp. Nope. Elkhorn Mize. Nice. Oh yeah, here's the D20 that they were playing the game with. It had landed on a 5. You can roll it! This was me all night last night with Nigox trying to do mind check. Like, damn it, it's a 2. Damn it, it's a 10. Like, it's anything but a 20. It was everything next to a 20, that's for sure. Can I roll 5 again? Okay, fuck you. Oh, you can... No! This thing's like weighted to never be back on 5, isn't it? That's actually how it felt all last night. Oh, cool, of course. Absolutely freaking phenomenal. Wonderful. That's D&D session. I needed to spell a magic door, and anything but a 1 would have gone over 10 no matter what. 2 spell slots of nat 1s. Oh, God. Yep. I failed 2 counter spells on a Cone of Cold, and the third one from it knocked me out. But I had hit the hag with a little bag of sand, and she survived with 1 HP against the party leader, which was Kai. Had I hit her with a stone, then, Kai would have killed the hag. But I hadn't. I hit her with a little bag of sand from my sling. The witch gets on her broom, or the hag gets on her broom, and she's like, later, bitches! And then, like, 3 frames of animation, flies, U-turns upside down, hits a tree, breaks her neck, falls to the ground, dies. I was like, oh, that's so much better. And then they woke me up. I'm just like, hag dead? Yep. She break her neck? Yep. Good. Fuck that one. It was very good. Sometimes, dice rolls like that can lead to some better scenarios. Son of a bitch, I just want this to be on a 5. Alright, well, I guess it's on a 19 now. That's cool. We can actually, like, see the whole layout of everything. I'm going to see... what happens... exit the game. And we're going to try and reload it and see if that fixes the house. Because it seems like I broke the assets for that when I clicked out. You get to see the startup again. This game has 5 acts. The 5th one got released like a couple years ago. Between each act is a special piece of media, I guess you could call it. Hold on. Yeah, so here's the website, and then yeah, Polygon's 4th best and Paste's 3rd best game of the decade in 2019. Damn, the decade is a pretty high accomplishment. Cardboard computer. There's the interludes are so the interludes are now on the game itself, but it used to be that they were available through other methods. So for one of the interludes is it's literally a phone, and the phone was sold on like eBay. It was sold for like $1,000. The phone has a phone number that is actually the local area code of where the game takes place. I know because a lot of people that I know have that area code. My phone was registered in a different part of Kentucky, so it has a different one. But it's just insane. I was like, oh my god, they actually registered a phone number in the area. What the hell? And that phone was listed as this like weird, mysterious artifact of a phone that could only dial one number. That was it. You could then dial that number on your own phone, especially if you lived in the US, and it had a variety of different things. We'll be doing that during one of the interludes, but I highly recommend, if you ever play this game, do the interludes between each act, because it is very, very, very important. And yeah, you can see this one was a blank notebook, this one was a blank videotape, this one was a blank audio tape. That's just the different save slots. I'm going to go grab a glass of sweet tea real quick, because I'm thirsty and I am in Kentucky. Well, it doesn't look like that has fixed anything. Well, actually, no, maybe it has. Because now there's like a street lamp here. We're just going to keep clicking up towards the top. I don't think that we're supposed to be like clipped. I think something is on the wrong layer. Because appears we have just permanently hecked up that part of it. That or there's supposed to be a bunch of fog here. I don't know. It was this way after we zoomed back out and Weaver was gone. Let's go to the graveyard. That'll help me navigate a little bit. A lot of this game just relies on, hey, you're kind of going to have to do so. You're meant to have more traditional graphics instead of echolocation ones. Yeah, that one is kind of how they just do things in the mine. Yeah, it's usually very, like, low poly characters with very flat coloring. They make great use of their lighting engine to help with it. Yeah, this is not how it's supposed to be looking right here, I'm pretty sure. This is where she was. Yeah, makes sense. This is where Weaver and her parents lived. They took out a bunch of loans, you know, had this place built. You have any debts? I owe some people some apologies. Well, you're lucky that's all you owe. My parents were like that, until the company store found a way to get to them. For my dad, it was tokens to run the fans and air purifiers. For my mom, it was canaries. Two solutions to the same problem, but they sure sounded different. Weaver had debt too. A lot of it. All tuition. She said she was a mathematician or something? Yeah, she said some esoteric stuff about... something about using math to translate between Spanish and English. Oh yeah, I forgot about that detail of her. I've seen the first 4 acts played, but it's been a while. So a lot of this I am rusty on. But I'm pretty sure I've already taken a couple different dialogue options than what I saw. I think eventually Weaver put those math skills to work on all the red numbers in the family checkbook. And got a clear sense of just how hopeless their situation was. So she left. Guess she just drove away in the middle of the night. I woke up in the morning and the car was gone. Never came back. Till tonight. She seemed really focused on the old TV. Someone else told me to come here and talk to her. Were you happy to see her? I don't know. It was so sudden and it wasn't like a reunion. She just appeared. Oh, that's not something you see every day. Old TV right there. Well, that is a damned antique for you. I had a model like that in the shop once, but I had to sell it off to make rent. Most painful decision I ever made. Say, do you mind if I open it up? Looks like the dials are all corroded, and the screen is leaking light a bit. Come on, I bet Lisette would never forgive you for letting a specimen like that fall into disrepair. Game, are you gonna fix your things? There we go. Okay, so it has just been like fog. That's why the door appeared. Oh yeah, these tubes are all messed up. Looks like they've been in a swamp or a cave or something. There's moss growing on this one. This is how I sound when I take something apart and I'm trying to repair. I'm like, oh boy. Oh, this one's got a bit of mold. It's got a freaking ecosystem in there. Whee. Buddy, where were you keeping this thing? In my garage? Your garage? Your garage a barn? Also, it's not actually got holes in the wood here. They just pull back the wood planks so we can get a better view of what's outside. It's okay, I have a few spares in my bag here. Here, I pulled this one out of an old computer monitor. Just needs to be recalibrated a bit. Why are you just carrying, like, cathode ray tubes in your bag? You know what? I don't have any room to talk. I don't have any room to talk. I cannot be criticizing people on these things. Okay, that oughta... Should be seeing something now. You seen anything? Hey, that looks dangerous. Where you're doing that? A little bit to the left? Damn, okay. Here, I think the contacts are dirty. No, don't go tell my customers here. I clean off old vacuum tubes with spit. This is very mechanic coded. This is very, like, I work with my hands. How do you clean them off when you need to? Spit? What? Don't worry about it. Turn it north-south, and... Now that, I believe, is supposed to happen. This is basically the picture getting adjusted. And there's our truck. I think some of that is a little messed up, though. I think the truck was supposed to keep going and vanish. It's good to know I bugged out my save file. Is that the end of Act 1, or... a new chapter? Yeah, Shader got something, like, some binary value got flipped somewhere. Yep, that was Act 1. So how do I go back to the interludes? Ah, okay. So that is the interlude. Believe. Yeah. So this is the first interlude. And this gives us some insight into other stuff going on. Waltex, limits and demonstrations. Lula Chamberlain retrospective. Marking the first major public showcase of her work in over 20 years. Retrospective exhibition of work by pioneering installation artist Lula Chamberlain comprises a diagonal slice through time, place, and form. Keep that name in mind. Lula Chamberlain. Pieces on display here were individually debuted over a period of 35 years, designing Chamberlain's various homes and studios between her beloved Mexico City and her native Elizabethtown. I believe that's also in the area. They represent a range of scale and impact from the intimate warmth of vertex texture fetch to the infamous visage, the latter of which requires a vertical clearance of over 30 feet. These works share a confounding legacy. In each of their debut exhibitions, they were nearly impossible to install. Galleries and museums balked at their scale, power requirements, and highly skilled labor involved in maintaining these works for display. Some of their debuts collapsed under the weight of logistics, only to be successfully executed much later. And so, just as they describe the outer limits of Chamberlain's range and as an installation artist, the geographical edges and vertices of her itinerant home life, and the beginning and end of her distinguished career, works on display here also trace the extremes of our capabilities and the frontiers of our patience as both viewers and exhibitors. Are we capable of viewing these works as they were meant to be viewed? Do we even want to be? And this is what they were talking about. Spinning coin. Suspended correcting for angular motion. 1976. Made of found materials. Oh, that's what it is. It's a microfilm reader. I think. Don't you have one of these? Yeah! That's right. Got a garage sale. Couldn't figure out what to do with it. I almost got one at a, freaking, Dollar Tree. And it had some microfilm in it, which was a census for somewhere in Germany at like 1995 or something like that. Maybe it was older than that. It was just such a crazy find, but I was like, what the hell am I gonna do with this? I don't have a way of making microfilms for any blueprints of mine, so what would it serve me any good? What good would it do for me? I don't have any microfilms to read with it. My whole shed, just a bunch of weird obsolete electronics I thought I might use. Alright, stop calling me out, Bob! Someday they'll be useful. You'll all see! You're all crazy. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. Never allowed into that. Probably because a lot of people wouldn't have understood just how delicate microfilms are. Would have mishandled them and damaged them. That, or they were just like, no one needs to use this. Let's just keep it off limits so we don't have to maintain it as much. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe I'll just sell them for scrap when the price of lead and plastic goes up. Listen, Bob, shut the hell up. Shut up. Shut up. So the thing gets broken down eventually. Exactly! Which is why you need things to repair them with. With other materials that will break down. Shut up! Quit calling me out! Oh yeah, Ben, Bob, and Emily. These are also important names to keep in mind. Overcapacity and... yeah, families researching old folks. Yeah, that makes sense. I think microfilms were mostly used for blueprints and, like, documentation of, like, census and stuff like that. So, makes sense. Us. Hey! Census. Makes census. Vertex texture fetch. Tree, television, and suspended cathode ray tube. 1968, found materials. Picture on the TV. What is that? It's a lighthouse? That's a weather vane. Or windmill or something. Is it a lighthouse? I love that they're just like... Again, this writing feels very natural. It feels organic. What in the 9 realms is this? Don't say it. Oh, this is Visage. Unknown Media. 1984. Unknown Media. Profoundly moving. What do you think, Bob? I kind of want to see what Bob's response is to that. I find this profoundly moving. What do you think, Bob? Slice of Visage to build a Visage. Puzzle to its owner. What? It's a poem I read. I think it was written by a computer. Sounds like it. It looks almost like it's made out of film. That's just partly the limitations of the, you know, the engine and the graphics art style. But like, I'm also noticing. Wait, hang on, hang on, hang on! I just realized that's a person's head. Look, you can see the glasses, and you can see the shape of the head in there. That's why it's Visage. You can see the eyes in the glasses. Actually, you can even see... I wish I could get the cursor. You can see his clothes. Right here is like a line for his shoulder of like a suit. He's got a collar on. It's Bubby. No. It is none of the Half-Life 2 or Half-Life 1 scientists, I'm afraid. But that is... I never really noticed that before. That's... So maybe it is like little reels of film or paper or something just whirling around. And there's like Well, it looks like a vending machine, but I think it's just... Yeah, it's just a computer. So it is reels of, like, paper, probably, because that's an old, like, first era computer punches holes in paper to make binary that you read. That's what that thing is. I don't know what the little panels are around it. There's 8 of them. Those must be generating, like, the field that they're using. So maybe they're using, like, a magnetic field of some kind, and it's, like, I don't know. It could be, like, not carbon paper, probably, but, like, it is possible to, like, infuse little bits of metal into, like, paper or whatever. No telling. But yeah, that's a person's face. That is a man. A visage, if you will. Hello, friend. Overdubbed Namjoon Pike installation in the style of Edward Packard. 1965, 1973, 1980. Magnetic tape. Yeah, so like magnetic tape. Okay, I was right. That is... Well, I mean, it's just called magnetic tape. Handheld tape, playback head, speaker system, voice of the artist, computer synthesized speech. Oh, I read about this one. It's interactive. How does it work? It's a bunch of old tape, and you run this tape playback head along it. And just listen to the recordings, I guess? Try it out. I think you start in the middle. As Bob drags the playback head along the tape, the woman's voice issues unsteadily from the speakers. We start in the middle. Donald and Joseph are in the hallway. I'm in the office. The walls are lined with filing cabinets. A few drawers hang open. The door is ajar. Right, okay. So, Donald was the one who sent the other email to Joseph. He had one that was from his power company. The other one was from Donald. And in Donald's email, he mentions Lula. He also mentions, like, did you find your own Xanadu? I know I did. There's a lot of things that they drop really early on. They are like, okay, that's definitely some kind of something with some part of the plot. I don't know what the hell, but it is. And this is already, like, playing into that further of, like, what the what? A massive computer looms in the corner. There's some punched cards on the floor. So yeah, that's what that was back there. That was a PC, like an old computer that would punch cards to make binary. Wow, I can't believe I actually sussed that out. Holy shit. I wonder how many people have done that. Hopefully a lot, so I don't get an ego of some kind. Oh, you're like the 18th person to do it. Hell yeah! I'm a genius! No, don't get ahead of yourself, brain. We're very, very stupid. I'm very, very, very stupid. Synthetic voice recording spliced awkwardly into the tape lists out options and monotone. To examine cards, rotate 30 degrees and advance 7 inches. To leave room, rotate 17 degrees and advance 4 inches. To activate computer, rotate 200 degrees and advance 15 inches. Examine cards. That's so cool. Interactive analog media. Kind of reminds me of the Clue VHS game I have. Oh, I need to get a group together for that. I gotta do that at some point. It hosts up to 10 players. Like, that's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's unnecessary and I love it. Code in the holes punched through these cards is a first draft of the poetic subsystem. Can't read punch cards by sight. Donald can, I think. Anyway, this version is pretty underwhelming. To leave room. Activate the pooter! Bob moves the playback head to another strip of tape. So loud. I love it. I'm now holding 2 punch cards. On one of them, Joseph has scribbled a note. Caves. The other is blank. Really, a museum just full of weaving machines. That is kind of fascinating there, yeah. So let me move the chat and activity pop-outs over to... there we go. I've got them over on my other monitor now, so I'll actually be leaning towards chat instead of away from it whenever I go to read it. I've been keeping it over on the other monitor because it makes me, like, turn my head... or it makes it where I can see the chat easier, but I just got to kind of keep my head angled a little bit more like this. I really need to get a mic arm at some point. Insert Caves card, rotate 11 degrees, advance 2 inches. To insert blank card, rotate 95 degrees and advance 4 inches. Caves. Ah, yeah, that'll do it. This is from Lula, a recording of her. We're on a dirt trail in the park. Or, well, it's not really a trail. It's a trail! It's a trail! It's more like a tendency. There tend to be fewer plants here on the path we've been walking. Now we're walking at the edge of a massive hole. The dirt gives way to mossy rock as the ground sinks into darkness. Joseph and Donald are following a rope down into the cave. They have computer equipment tied to their backs. So do I. To enter the cave, rotate 65 degrees left and advance 4 inches. That's the only choice? Yeah, that's the end of that one. So, 65 degrees, 4 inches. That's the last trip. So everything's down here now. Final resting place! Don't be so morbid. To remember a fond gesture, rotate 180 degrees and advance 23 inches. To regret a harsh word, rotate 12 degrees and advance 6 inches. What? It's oddly specific yet vague at the same time for both of those. What do we do? Do we remember or do we regret? I know what I would do. Because I have chronic anxiety. But what would we do? What would Emily choose? What would Emily choose to do? What would Emily do to choose? I am actually asking you guys. What should we choose? Do we choose to remember or regret? I'm actually giving this one to Chad. Because I could go with either of these. Man, it's just, you're remembering a fond gesture or regretting a harsh word. Like, we don't know much about these characters at all. And we're also kind of determining a bit of that. Regretting words is dumb. Yeah. Let's go with remember. I think I want to see that. It's morning now. I'm in the car. I'm driving to work. This is the last recording I'll make on this tape. And then I'll drop it in the mail tomorrow, and who knows. I've been recording onto this tape for 15 years, I think. A lot of other things happened. So, here's the story. When I met Donald and Joseph, they were both students, and I was in a band performing on campus. He came to my show, and then we met at some bar and had a few drinks together. Joseph wanted to impress me, so he stole a metal cocktail tumbler and gave it to me. We got kicked out, wandered drunkenly until morning, finally ended up at a diner. And now I use the tumbler to store extra pens on my desk. So I'm almost out of tape. I guess I'll just let it run out while I drive. Hey, go back a bit. Maybe we missed something. Really? We've gone so far. Yeah, let's go back. Okay, sure. That's the last trip. Everything's down here now. Final resting place. Don't be so morbid. Dang it. I chose the same thing. Hang on. Ignore that part. Yeah, let's go back. Here we go. Now we regret. We remembered to regret. It's late morning now. I'm sitting at my desk on my lunch break. This is the last recording I'll make on this tape, and then I'll drop it in the mail tomorrow. Then who knows? Both of them were the last. First time I moved to Mexico, I stayed there for 3 years. Right, it's 2 tapes. No, it's 2 reels, but 1 tape. First time I moved to Mexico, I stayed there for 3 years. I had no contact with either Joseph or Donald in that whole time. Each thought I'd done it to spite them. Maybe I had, in part. But I don't think they ever appreciated the community I had in Mexico. Or... Anyway, when I came back, I didn't call them or visit the university. I ran into Donald completely by chance at a hardware store. He asked me why I hadn't called, and I told him it hadn't occurred to me. So I'm almost out of tape. Guess I'll just let it run out while I eat. Well, that's... instructions. End of this tape strip. We ever reached this long... I don't think we ever reached this long one at the top. Is it cheating to skip over there? I won't tell a soul. So yeah, this part is not part of the adventure that they set up for the interactive part. But Ben has been paying attention to which parts we've actually listened to. Think of our work, our research. You'll die in these damn old caves. And what about those men? You know they'll come back. We'll go deeper, that's all. They'll never find us. Did you hear their voices? They're not... They'll find you, but not me. I'm going back to the surface. Stop! Your stupid fight is ringing through the whole damn cave. Joseph was right. We can't stay here. I'm leaving too. But I'm not going back to the surface. I'm taking my station wagon and I'm heading down to 0. You'll be lost forever. We need your voice for the machine, Lula. It only recognizes your voice. I'll send you this tape and when I'm done recording. I'll put it in the mail, and then you can see what your damn machine does with it. Oh. That is a man. And haunts. Books. Geometry. There's the placard. Basement puzzle number 2. Our Sunset and Haunts. 1976. Plastic and wire. Read the covers of these books? It's kind of hard to... I wish we could get a little closer. I don't think they're real books. No, they're real. Look, that one says... No, you're right. It's just scratched up cardboard. Maybe it's a puzzle, but there's no right answer. That's kind of sad. No more hunts. Yeah, I guess I'm ready to go. Yeah, I need to get back to work anyway. That's our first interlude. So, it won't be obvious for a bit, but, like, literally everything on that tape was extremely important. Or at least a lot of it was highly important. And some parts were extremely important. Attention, Lula Chamberlain. Regarding your application. Applying to the Gaston Trust for Imagined Architecture's annual fellowship. So, record number of applicants this year, over 100 total. Regrettably, we can award only one fellowship position per year. No, our review process includes a multi-phase blind committee analysis of portfolio submissions, as well as a careful review by a panel of subject matter experts on each applicant's notability and relevance in the field. We must be extremely selective in our process so as to maintain the standards we have established over our 35 years in operation. The panel did not select your application. We encourage you to consider reapplying next year. Many young artists and architects reapply for a few successive years before being accepted. Sincerely, Dr. Carl Stone Norden, Architect, Gaston Trust for Imagined Architecture. The printed text is a hastily handwritten note. Sorry for the condescending form letter. Love your work. Unfortunately, I just do the mail here. Sift Robert. I think with the little hand note, the handwritten note at the bottom, I think she keeps it. Folder of writing paper on her desk. Read your own imagination. Oh. Do we write a fuck you letter? Do we? Oh, that's... For your most informative letter, I was ecstatic to hear of your record-breaking success in receiving over 100 applications. What a triumph. As you know, my application process includes several minutes of photocopying undertaken on my lunch break. Regrettably, I must be extremely selective in my fellowship applications so as to leave enough time in which to eat my lunch. And in the successive years, I will no longer be contributing to your illustrious submission count. Yours, etc., Lula Chamberlain, Artist, Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces. Yeah, that's a fuck you letter. I figured that was where that was going. Okay, something's definitely breaking. This is definitely not how it's supposed to look. I think I might need to restart. I closed the game. I did. Let me try looking this up. Forcing the game to use DirectX 11. Let me see if I can do that. Although they're saying to do that. Yeah, so, I'm going to exit the game. I'm going to pull up Stim. And I'm going to switch to a blank scene real quick. So that it doesn't pull up my Steam. Because it's on auto detect. Properties. Launch option. There we go. Launch options. OpenGL. Black screen fix. Let's try that. Let me try launching it now. Going to select continue on this real quick and see if that fixed anything before I switch back over. There we go. That's fixed it. All right. Push live. This is how this was supposed to look. Well, nope. Goddamn. Okay, hang on. So, me clicking out to XSplit while it's in a scene like that is part of what's making it break. So I just gotta not... I had to open chat back up, so... Let me see if I fixed it properly. There we go. Alright. So, I cannot click out to XSplit specifically while doing all this. Put it in your handbag. Oh, you can actually see you're doing it. Let's write the fuck you letter. There we go. There we go. That's how that's supposed to look. Oh, that. Right. That's Carrington. So apparently I got an achievement for finding Carrington, and only like 9.9% of players have gotten that. I guess most of us just didn't think to go back to the gas station. I apologize. I thought you were on the telephone. Are you busy? Just thinking out loud. There's no shame in it. After all, speech is a kind of thought. At our best, we think before speaking, but we rarely think while speaking. So where do our thoughts go then? Maybe that they reverberate out into the room, dissipating in hallways, or getting trapped in some resonant corner of... So my own thoughts are wandering, clearly. I've got a lot on my mind. Clearly. Well, I'll come straight to it then. The clerk upstairs tells me you've been assigned to my proposal. I've heard nothing in weeks, and I assumed it had been swallowed up by some dragon of administration, but... I've received your proposal, and I'm afraid it's impossible. Of course. I'm sorry to have bothered you, Lula. I'll go now. Oh, Lula. I thought you might like to know. I saw Joseph this evening, just after sunset. We sat for a bit, drank some cold coffee, and talked about university days. Better days. So, that's why he was with Joseph. He was hanging out with him. So he also knows them. Maybe for him. Unless it fixed the graphical problem. Let's go into that. No, no. Hang on. I clicked over to Twitch to switch the tabs over again. God damn it. Really, only like less than a quarter players completed Act 1. Does it only give you that if you did like everything including the part with Carrington? I wonder if that counts as a flag for it. But I don't know past. My German is extremely rusty, alright? Mein Deutsch aus der Übung ist. There we go. Talk Shannon. Didn't we just pass this place? I don't think the Zero operates like the roads we're used to. I don't understand it either. So what is this place? It looks like a cathedral. Yeah, a cathedral with an office building in it. This is weird, but... You think we're inside or outside right now? Both. Ha, okay. Very poetic. Well, maybe someone around here has a better sense of direction. I like that now we're adding kind of to his character that Conway's a little bit of a poet. We actually did that with our initial dialogues with Joseph. His leg is getting kind of stiff now, Blue. I don't know if that's a good sign. Well, I hope it is. I don't know if you guys can hear it, because I don't remember if I've got stereo audio for this. But this one's actually coming through the left audio channel. And this one's coming through the right. Although this one might be like closer to the center because of its spatial positioning. Yes, now this is on the right audio channel. And now this is on the right and this is in the center. That's incredible. They've got really good positional audio in this. Like, it really just sounds exactly like that. For Virginia Creeper. 4 mother seeds. End of the line? Maybe it's still under construction. Well, work seems to have stopped for the moment. Ding. Well, here you are. Better late than never, I guess. Just unload the whiskey out there by the elevator. I'll figure something out. Actually, a bit lost, man. Want to settle a bet? Want to settle a bet? I'm actually pretty busy, but sure, what's up? Can you be both inside and outside at the same time? Wow, okay. Is that like a philosophy thing, or are you just lost? We're just lost. You're lost. So you're not the... Sorry, honest mistake. We're supposed to have a little celebration here at the office, but the whiskey never showed up. Saw your truck and thought, but you don't really look like one of the boys from the distillery anyway. The boys! What do the boys from the distillery look like? You never seen the boys from Hard Times? Well, count your blessings. Got a grim profile. Well, it's clear you're new to this territory. Expect you just mean to be passing through. We're looking for Dogwood Drive. Do you know where that is? Dogwood. Nope. We're gonna need to talk to someone upstairs about that. One of the map clerks. But first, we've got to get you in the system, so you need an appointment with one of the ingestion clerks. Ingestion? I mean, I guess that's the correct word, but ugh. Now, let's see. Rick is booked, proofreading drafts all afternoon, and Wanda's out on site. Let me go make some calls and see if we have anyone free. There's some books over there in the waiting area, or just take a look around. Have you seen our grotesques? I like that she's actually like, I assume that because you are lost, you would like to get moving right away. Rather than, oh, we can get you something in like a month. A hermit crab scuttles across a beach! Shell is an awkward shape. It must have once belonged to a different crab. Cartoon about a bird! Cartoon! Bird collects pieces for its nest. Scarf, plastic shopping bag. Bit of a young girl's hair. Nest is warm but curiously fragile. Playing an instructional video on elevator design. Hazardous sense of motion is greatly enhanced. Never fails those. They are physically ascending or descending elevators to create the illusion that the building is flat. This is the mark of a successful elevator design. I live for design philosophy shit behind like really obscure things. Television is playing a closed-circuited security feed of housing project. Feed switches mechanically between locations. Hallway, disused plot of grass, a stairwell, mailbox. Television is playing a silent video of an empty theater. Microphone sits in the middle of the stage. The lights are slightly dimmed. The speakers hum impatiently. Nothing with the fishing rod. I don't know why that's it. Also, you'll notice that the clerk actually walked up while we were in the middle of reading the second TV's thing. So this game does a nice thing of like, hey, you would have had to wait for that, but reading these actually did pass time. Like, time kept going, rather, as you were reading them. It's just a nice little thing. Yeah. Good. Thought you left. People can be so impatient. You never know. You're meeting with Lula Chamberlain. She's senior clerk and doesn't usually handle the ingestion process, but she's the only one with room on her plate this evening. The schedule says she's on the 5th floor reviewing some diagrams. Elevator is just back to the left there. 5th floor. I kind of want to see about here. But no, I cannot go down the stairs. Yep, no. No. Fine. Oh, there's the waiting room with the books. Small handwritten brochures, ritualistic directions to bizarre locations. Well, don't mind if I do. Yes. Spaces. Oh, yeah. So there's the phone number. That is the phone number that you can call with your actual real-ass phone. And because I saw the cover of this, this is what that phone number gets you. And this is basically a transcript of some of the things you could do. But there were also different things of, like, it had, like, a series of things. Also, hang on. There's the staples. Oh my god, that's such an attention to detail. There's the thing of, like, to identify what kind of water you are hearing, press this number. And they would ask a weird series of questions like, does the water sound like it is glistening? Or just weird shit like that. But, like, every time you would do it, it would be different stuff. I hope not, because that number had some, like, crazy shit going on. We'll be doing that as one of the interludes. I think it's actually the next one. Or it's the one after. I think the one after is the other one I'm thinking of. But yeah, that one's interlude. That one interlude is just... It's a wild ride. I'm eager to get there. This game's honestly not terribly long, which is nice because having the branching dialogue options and stuff... Like, we already had a section that we missed, because we did not control Shannon. But had we controlled Shannon, we wouldn't have gotten to, like, look through the other stuff with the context that there was. I think, the stream I watched of this before, I want to say that one actually had the thing of, like, they chose Shannon's thing, and then when they came back out, Conway was in the shed reading the books, but we didn't get to read the books. So we didn't get to see, like, the context. Bears! Bears! Actually, just straight up bears? What the hell? It's actually bears. I have a bum leg currently. Well, going up. We're just gonna not. We're gonna not. We ain't tempted fate. I mean, they are bears. It did say third floor bears. Little tip. All you really have to do usually to get a record that's on repeat like that to stop is just kind of flick the table next to it. I kind of like thump with the back of one of my fingers' knuckles. Just kind of... You do it with just a little bit of force. Or, in my case, a lot of the time I'll actually tap like the edge of the turntable because it's a little USB one. So just slightly against the side of it and they'll fix it while getting it to go on track and not skip over anything. Usually. Greg is hard at work examining some diagrams, measuring angles with a plastic protractor and occasionally scribbling numbers in a small leather notebook. Can I help you? Don't answer that. Lila Chamberlain? No. You just missed her, actually. She was up here about an hour ago. She's probably back at her real desk now, on the first floor. She barely made a dent in these diagrams. Must have been distracted. So that, part of the very beginning was literally, like, an hour ago. Speaking of which... Yeah? Speaking of which... Oh, he's saying, like... Speaking of which, I'm being very distracted right now. Well, I'll fix your record going for you. I do find that putting records on while trying to get work done is actually very good. You have to flip over the record or change to a different one every 20 to 30 minutes. And so, it just kind of works well for keeping your workflow going, because it reminds you every 20 to 30 minutes, like, okay, I need to go use the bathroom real quick, or I need to go get a drink or something. Just keeps you taking care of yourself. And taking little quick breaks for like a minute to be like, alright, what do I need to do next? So I do that a lot when I do work around the house. You know, chores and stuff like that. Hello, are you lost? Very much so, yes. Okay, well, let's get you pointed in the right direction then. Pretty straightforward process. First, you'll need to get a case number assigned. Talk to Clerk Stein about that. She's just over there at the end of the room. Have it up. Hey, how are you? Fine, thanks. I just need your ingestion card and a list of your last 5 permanent addresses. I think I've had 5 permanent addresses. I think I now have. At this point, I think I've barely reached that number. Let's just get... This is... I like that this is Shannon. Specifically, Conway is, like, going along with it. Shannon's just like, listen, who's Luna? Who's Lula? Oh, sure. That's her in the cardigan. Shannon is the speedrunner option. Having fun in the paperclip labyrinth? Well, you made it eventually. You look exhausted. I'd offer you my seat, but my ankles are turning on me. Arthritis? Dr. Truman says my joints are eroding one another. They've been collaborating for decades. It's only natural they want to kill each other now. That's how I feel with my, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. EDS is a real fun one. Enough about my hateful wrists and ankles. Concrete bunker of an office is just a waypoint for you, I'm sure. Where's you trying to get to? Looking for 5 Dogwood Drive. Dogwood Drive. That's funny. No, I used to live on a Dogwood Drive. This was years ago. A grimy old house, basement full of insects, attic full of birds. I had a few roommates. We all worked at the university. I had a dog, drank whiskey and beer, and made sculptures. I wonder if you say, I don't know whose dog this is, it's just a dog. I wonder if she ends up being like, oh my god, that's my dog. Something we're going to be discovering pretty soon is how time works in the Zero. When you're on the Zero, and like in this realm, question mark, things are a bit weird. We're going to be seeing a lot of that. That Dogwood was a surface road. With a name like that, it would have to be. What are you doing on the Zero? The station attendant told us we need to take the Zero to get there. Or my cousin Weaver sent us this way. Cousin Weaver? Weaver Marquez? I expected to hear from her again. Do you know her? So, I bet you if you say the gas station attendant, she talks about Joseph instead. She came through here as an intern. One of my old colleagues must have referred her. You know, I never asked. Anyway, there's not much challenging work here, much less for a gifted mathematician. She helped translate some notes on architectural plans I picked up in Mexico. She was very bored. We used to sit on the steps by the river on our lunch break and talk about geometry. Geometry! Yes, geometry. My arch nemesis. Shapes. I hope she wasn't in trouble. I lost touch with her so suddenly. I'd recommend she go see some old friends of mine at the university about a new acoustic surveying venture. I often worry she became wrapped up in some tenured professor's quixotic research project. You know the type. Gray-haired, intellectual, narcissistic. Well, that is. I guess she sent you here because she respected me. Thought I could help. Weaver's a dear girl, but I'm afraid you've been misled. Excuse me. Where's the Dogwood Drive you lived on? Maybe it's the same one? No, it's not possible. Dogwood Drive I lived on is now called Pale Dogwood Drive. They renamed all the streets, you see. Too many streets with the same names. It was never a problem before, but now we have these databases, and it's also confusing for the computer. God, if this isn't so true. Lexington was really bad about this. There's so many roads that were like, this is now Old York Drive, but this is York Drive, and this is New York Drive, or not York, but just like, that's an example of it. Like, we literally had that all over the place. Sometimes you'd have one that was named Old, and the other was just the normal name. Sometimes you'd have the normal name, and then another one named New Name. And it's like, why? Just, oh my god. Computer has no sense of ambiguity, so it proclaims an error. Name collisions, they call them. So my Dogwood Drive is Palewood Dogwood Drive, and another might be Large Leaf Dogwood Drive, or Himalayan Flowering Dogwood Drive. Yeah, exactly, and so on. One of them is still just Dogwood Drive, so we might hope. It's really a matter of consulting records, which we have in abundance here. You have a record of those streets? I expect we must. They'll be up in Archives and Records, 4th floor. We fired under O for autonyms, probably, or G for generic, maybe S for specific, depending on which part of the street name was changed. O, G, and S. Let me see if we've written that down now in our notebook. Handy dandy notebook. Oh! So that's what we wrote down the map on. We took an old tram maintenance record. That's neat. Consult the magic dice! It has spoken! I don't understand its language. It speaks in riddles. I do love this one. 0. The on-ramp. Elkhorn Mines. 5 Dogwood Drive. Okay, so O, G, or S. Ah, okay, I can actually select pages down there. Have old, default, and new anywhere near each other? Sometimes the two street names will be kind of close to each other, but they'll usually have like a street or two separating them. Sometimes they're like really far apart, like on opposite sides of the city. It really is just a weird thing that certain parts of the U.S. do. Archives and records. So, fourth floor. This is part why I didn't bother to explore the other floors. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we'll more or less go to all these, or at least a lot of them. If we're told we're ready to leave, then we'll go to second and third floors. We will consult with bears. There's O, G, and S. Damn, this place is a mess. Okay. Take a look through that logbook, I guess. Maybe there's a guy assisted all these boxes. I'll just start digging. The cover, a few notes are scribbled on the inside covers. Most pages are just lists of titles, names, and dates. Staff, please do not transfer any more records from the storage until we get the new file cabinets in. We're up to F, and that will have to do for now. Jesus. Beginning with A through F. Most likely to involve research on subjects beginning with those letters. For example, cars is okay because it involves automotive, driving, brakes, etc. But air quality is not okay because it relates to health, safety, pollution, etc. Filling antique shops. Folder missing. Listed checked in on page 63 but not present. Well, ain't that inconvenient? God damn it. We work for an antique shop. Well, at least it's for failing. Surely that's not an issue. Well, now we have page 63 as an option. Failing antique shops. Monday, 3 p.m. Signee Ed Boom. Bit of a German name there. Those are very common in Kentucky. German, English, and Irish are all very common heritages for us here in the state. Some set of documents relating to coal mining operations was checked out and back in by several different people within a few hours. Really? A few hours? Okay. Linked to sporting competition and venues were quickly checked out and back in over a period of a few days. Basketball courts, baseball fields, alleys, and parking lots. Oh, you know what? I bet this was Carrington. These are outside places that would have, like, seating arrangements. So that was him. Coal mining operations, though. It says several different people within a few hours. No clue about that. That's everything, right? Nothing? Me neither. Half these boxes aren't even labeled, and the rest are all from the first few letters of the alphabet. Couldn't find anything with an O or a G or an S. That clerk knows somewhere else we can look. But Ed Boom. I wanted to go down. There. There's the enter button. Office is down on the first floor, yeah. No, I hear Mushi snoring. Oh my goodness, she is conked out. She just started snoring really loud. Sorry, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Burst. Burst. Nope. Nope. Damn it. God damn it. I wasn't trying to click it to stream together. Son of a bitch. I was not trying to do the stream together thing, damn it. I accidentally moved my mouse a little bit too far over to one side. Continue? I wonder if that'll fix it. Do I not have to close the whole game? God damn it. I did the thing again. I had to pause the stream preview so I wouldn't tank my bitrate. Yeah, open full screen, right? Back to the circle. At least using OpenGL seemed to kind of fix it. It seems like this game's like graphics engine is very weird and tricky. Yeah, so we're on the wrong layer. Actually, yeah, it's got the background under the wrong layers. So we have to go do all that again. That's great. I will need to definitely submit a bug report to Cardboard Games. Annapurna. I think that's just a publisher. But I would need to submit a bug report to them and just link the stream VOD. Be like, hey, go to these timestamps. There's a bit of an issue going on. I was about to go click out so I can make a stream marker. I would have done it again. Options. Can I do video? I could do full screen off. Era. Modern? Classic. Oh, that's cool. I kind of like that. Advanced captions. Text effects, yes. I wonder if VSync on will fix it. Should I VSync 1? I've never seen multiple options for VSync. Multiplayer? Words a notable absence that reminds you of someone else in the room. Pass control of the game to that person. You don't have to explain yourself, and so on. Oh my god. This is the kind of shit I would do. I was like, how do you do multiplayer? Oh. Hi, Anna. There's a slight issue with this game of, well, clicking out of it causes problems. I could plug in my controller, but really rather not. But now we have to redo the stuff for this chapter of the act, I believe. Or maybe not. Maybe we don't have to, like, restart it. I mean, the other one, we weren't having to restart the whole thing. But it looks like we didn't hit a checkpoint. So it's the beginning of the chapter, I guess. This is not the whole act. Oh, it's multiplayer, alright. Technically speaking, that's multiple players. Thus, multiplayer. That fits the inherent definition of that. Conway, can I... for the love of God. Come on. Conway. Is it fucked up again? Disguise, I'm kind of out of it today, I'm being honest. If I'm being honest, rather. Yeah, Disgaea 3. Oh, for the love of God. Something's not one to work right with this. Let me try exiting the game, because it looks like it has just hecked up from stuff. Yeah, I'm not on Windows 11, thank God. But this might have gotten an update for Windows 11 that might be interacting with Windows 10. There's no telling. Yeah, I can do some leveling and stuff in Monster Rancher 2 while I'll let you, because I need to get Krillian some stat levels and stuff, and it's not going to be anything super interesting. So I could save the time from streams to be like, okay, now we've got him where he's actually decent on levels and stuff. If we can't get this working a little more consistently, we might call it here for stream. Considering that we're having so many issues, and this is setting us back a fair bit. Because each chapter can be a bit long at times, and that's a lot of stuff to go back through. Oh yeah, also, we do have a limp after what happened in the mines. Okay, now, should get a dialogue bubble thing. We are not getting the dialogue bubble thing. Is that because we've saved our progress? Can I just go back up? It just sent me back to here. Okay, I guess so. So that's why I couldn't talk to her. That's probably what it is. Okay. So it's just sending you back to a certain point of the level. Like, it's sending you back to the entrance of the screen. So, 4th floor. Okay. Not as big a fan of how the text pops out for that. The menu, I like it that way. For, like, options and all that. 3rd floor, bears. 4th floor, records and stuff. Alright, go get you some food. I'll make me some lunch here in a bit. Where is the compact view? Layout, that was it. Alright, so... back through all these, damn it. There we go. that was right where we had the bug, was as we tried to go back to the elevator. Ugh. First floor. Third floor bears. Bears! Paint cans? They are carpenters. Conference room didn't let us do jack diddly squat. Nothing? That's unfortunate. Well, they must still be in transit. I moved into this new venue somewhat recently, and it's all a bit in progress. It was a cathedral not so long ago. Can you... That's what I said! Well, Conway said. And the Bureau reclaimed it. The old congregation has been directed to one of our storage facilities for the activity. That's where you'll find the street name records, I expect, at the church. Marianne at reception can give you directions. Just come back here when you have the files, and we'll begin the necessary paperwork to have the information analyzed. While you're out on the road, you might want to stop and see Dr. Truman about your leg. He's a specialist regarding ailments of the joints and limbs, and I know he works at night. His home office is in a small neighborhood on the east edge of Bowling Green. So, that is a place that I actually do know a bit about. Bowling Green is like one of our more central areas in this region. It's one of the like... It was a place that had like one of the work temp agency offices that I was told about when I was moving to the area. One of the agencies I was working through was like, oh, well, we've got a Bowling Green office out there. Go hit them up. I'm like, all right, fair enough. Of course, now I'm at a point where I'm not able to do much work at all. So, doesn't do me much good. Do you stop and see him? That leg is a miserable sight. Damn, Lula! Just tell me, man, you fucked up. Yours is bad fucked up. Welcome back, Anna. We're going to the third floor, Bears. Hello, friends. Colleagues. Acquaintances? Pals. Comrades. They don't seem to have anything they want to talk about. Okay, that's just like... No, it is a partition. Of sorts. There's nothing back there, but that's interesting to note. Have to keep that in mind for the future. I wonder if I can go behind these boxes up here. Perhaps. Depends how they are with the parallax. I'm getting cold. Getting some goosebumps. No wait, not first floor. Lobby. I don't know if the game is just like scrolling up and down a little bit weird because of my resolution or what. Also, we are always leaving the truck idling. That cannot be good for the gas. Our mileage is gonna be shit. Double check. I got the... Actually, I can just check in my ephemera. Yeah. We've got it. Alright. We're good. Wait. I forgot to do something very important. It still won't roll another 5. Yeah! Woo! Crit. Yeah! Aw. Again, that's what was happening to me all night last night while I was trying to roll 20s to Mind Shackle. I went 1 and 2 on my games. I almost went 3-0. I'll be honest, the 2 games I lost were very, very close and almost ended in my favor. My last opponent pulled the comeback of the century. I asked him, like, do you want to give up now that you're down to 1 figure? He was like, no, I want to keep going. If only I was found. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. And he actually did manage to take out my remaining, like, 3 heroes. He played it real smart, and the dice suddenly went in his favor just enough. It was a little bit agonizing, but he did manage to pull it off. Are we going back? Oh, okay, I talked to Marianne again. You know what you need? Right, they said to direct. Lewis said you could direct us to the church? Oh, sure, the old storage lot. Just get back on the 0 and drive until you hit the crystal, then turn around. So this is the kind of instructions we'll start getting. I'll be honest, I've never been on the 0, so this is a little new for me, but I've heard some people say it's honestly not too hard to navigate. It makes sense once you get on the road, you can handle it. I've heard some people use a shortcut for, like, getting to Bowling Green, like they were mentioning. I'm just like, I don't know, like, it sounds like it's a pain in the ass to navigate. Google Maps doesn't have any data on it because it kind of doesn't work down there. They get back on the road, they have nowhere to go. They get back on the road. So yeah, welcome to the 0. Okay, we got to the crystal. Now we turn around. A192. Self-storage? Why was it saying 8192 for the U-turn? Alright, we're at the beginning of a new scene. I think that's a good place for us to stop things. I might play some more of this on stream. I might not. This is a really cool game, though. It's really weird seeing, like, the place where my parents grew up and where a lot of my family and stuff is located. Like, that whole general region on the map. It's just like, this is weird to see this in a game. So, you know, it's pretty interesting. I will say, I always forget about the tree that's always on fire. It's just a matter of, like, again, in this game, they describe it as being ugly. I'm like, it's not that ugly. It's just solid black and always on fire. Like, what's the big deal with that? It's not weird. Alright? This is pretty typical of, random access? Yeah, random access self-storage. I get it. Like random access memory. I get it. It's a joke! Yeah. Navigating from here. For peeps how odd it is to go around their backyard in My Summer Car. Yeah, I've seen a little bit for My Summer Car in one game. Or one channel that I follow. I forget what his name is, but just some funny stuff. I'm honestly... I'm gonna send through a bug report on the game and link to the stream with some timestamps. Just so I can be like, hey, there's kind of a weird issue on Windows 10 if you accidentally click out of the game. Seemingly only at certain parts, but it seems to like take the background layer and pull it to the front. And that is really making it kind of frustrating to play. And the ability to have the cursor be bound to the monitor or to the window would be nice. Usually I hate when it's stuck to that, but if it's going to cause problems, I'd like the ability to choose to have it locked to the window. And I think having that as an option is always best. Especially for like if you're playing a game in windowed mode and you're using mouse controls, it can be really annoying because you can accidentally click outside the window very easily, even on a single monitor. Yeah, this game had awards going back to like 2013, but that's like when they first started releasing the acts. Each act came out like a year or two apart. As you can tell with just like how much intricate work goes into all the assets for this, a lot of it probably went into that, and a lot of it probably went into writing all the dialogue and branching options and everything, and getting that to work in the programming and the code in the first place. So, but yeah, I used to use a certain software. I forget what it was called, but it allowed you in stuff like DOSBox, with a lot of those old games that lock your cursor. It's like, well, I need to start stream after I've started the game going, or I need to like choose it as a game like capture window, and the cursor would get locked. That software allowed you to kind of break your cursor out. It was really weird. Ooh, Tower Unite anniversary event is going on. I might play some of that tomorrow. Normally it's going to be retro PC games on Thursday, but might play some of that like off stream tomorrow, if nothing else. I'm not sure what I'm going to play tomorrow, but I do have my old PC games moved out of the closet shelves and into the main game room shelves, because I had a lot of spare space, and I was able to get them all on there pretty well. So I'll have to figure out what I'm going to play for tomorrow, like, later today, so that I can go through and grab whatever it is and get it installed and make sure I've got it running properly. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to go grab a couple of groceries real quick, and then I'll be back. And we can do some Monster Rancher. That's going to be off stream, though. Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming over. Let me see if there's someone I can raid. Oh, Weird is live. Yeah, let's go raid Weird. Alright. Bye everyone.